team's woes when he lost the rear end of his car around turn 16 and 17. Got on the dust. The car just came around on him. Fortunately, he's got away with it in terms of they should be able to get the car ready and out on track, but he will be starting at the back.
So disaster for Maserati, the disaster for Sam Bird was last week. This week, he's turned things around.
He has, but before we get to him, he's going to be starting alongside Dan Ticktum, who was a star of qualifying until he got to this final corner of the duels and had this huge moment coming out, and that cost him a chance to go through and start higher up, but he still will be starting in 4th, Razzie. But as you mentioned, Sam Bird, he did a superb job. He was fastest in free practice. Yesterday, he was in the duel up against Rene Rast McLaren, and it was pretty tight for a while. It was only 76 thousandths of a second between them. But when they got to the final corner, Bird just got a beautiful run through those last few corners of the lap and put himself into the top 3.
Jack, you were absolutely delighted there, but obviously the man of the hour, Buemi, the big man, is back.
Yeah, I mean, he had a fascinating battle with Jake Hughes, actually. They were really nip and tuck. Throughout qualifying, both of these drivers looked like the in-form men. And therefore, when they got to the finals, head-to-head, it was super tight. As you can see, 50 thousandths of a second between them. And it was Hughes who first set the benchmark, a 109.495, a really strong lap for a rookie on the circuit. And as I was saying before, I think he's been the standout performer. But Buemi just chipped away at it, And when he got to the final corner, he was only 44 thousandths behind, came across the line and snuck through by 600ths of a second. So, very strong performance by him.
So, Karim, you're an academic when it comes to racing. You love a prediction. If on the spot right now, what have we learned from this? Who's going to potentially win?
Jake Hughes, because I like a rookie winning story.
And we'd absolutely love that. Could it be another Jake like it was last week? Absolutely anybody's guess. If there's one thing we've learned about this track here, it's expect the unexpected. It's dusty, it's unpredictable. There aren't many overtaking opportunities, although the drama that Saudi Arabia's produced has been absolutely off the charts. And with that in mind, it's very shortly time to get this race underway.
All right, thank you very much, Radzi. I'm here with Lucien Laviscan from Emily in Paris.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you.
It's good to see you.
Oh, thank you very much. But you know what's funny? It's like you're from a town which is literally 20 minutes away from my hometown.
Down the road, Burnley.
Absolutely. We've got to quickly talk about the show and your success.
No problem.
Absolutely awesome. What was the audition process like? Or did you do an audition? Or did they not need one because they know you're so good?
I wish that was the case. No, my audition process is a self-tape that I sent in, and then an hour later, I get a phone call saying Darren Starr and Lily Collins are going to get in a Zoom. I got on a Zoom call, and then I flew to Paris the next week, and that was it.
Hang on, it took them an hour?
It was, honestly, I was only supposed to do 2 episodes.
No way.
2 episodes, and then that kind of just turned into, I'm 2 seasons in now, and
so I would imagine that they'd only written a script for 2 episodes and then gone, hang on a minute, he's pretty good, this guy, and there's a bit of chemistry between you and Lily.
Yeah, I had to give a few backhanders out, you know, so I cast them off here and there.
All right.
But no, it worked out, and honestly, my feet still haven't touched the ground. Just so thankful.
Brilliant. Well, for those that haven't seen it, those handful of people that haven't seen it, just quickly give us a synopsis of the show.
A young girl from Chicago goes to Paris to live her dreams, and that comes with a lot of complications and a lot of twists and turns.
And how good is it living in Paris, by the way?
Paris is, honestly, it's become my second home now. Honestly, I can't put into words what it's done for me, and the people, the energy, the food, the lifestyle. It's it's a second.
Is Bandouche still open?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
No way. It's not. Are you serious?
I swear.
No way. That's a classic. Oh, I spent many a night. No, I didn't spend many a night in there. Oh, what a nightclub. Listen, all the best with everything.
Thank you so,
really
so
nice
much.
To meet you. Your mum's here as well. Where's your mum?
Where's Mum?
Come on in, Mum. Quickly say hello. Quick.
Oh.
Wave to the world. There you go.
It's been great.
All right,
I think my mum fancies him.
All right.
Dad's at home, Mum. Dad's at home. Dad's at home.
Right, I've got to run. All the best. Mike, grab the mic. Right, come on, Matt. Here we go. Let's quickly go. Where are we? Let's calm down and fire someone. Let's talk to Jake Hughes, shall we? In a duel with Sebastian Buemi. Didn't quite make pole. But Jake is the star of the season so far. Let's see if we can quickly interrupt. Hi, Jake, quick chat. What's going on the mobile? Just talk us through what your prep is pre-race.
Secret stuff.
Can't
tell you any of that.
All right, firstly, congratulations on the start to your season. You've made everyone kind of stand up and say, hang on a minute, he's a bit tasty, this guy. We've talked many, many times about what happened at the end of the Mexico race. You were kind of taken aback and surprised by what it takes to get a Formula E car, and in particular the Gen 3 car around the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been in the paddock for 2 or 3 years now, so I sort of hear on the radio how difficult it can be at moments of the race, but it's obviously different when you come into your own race car and you've got Lucas ahead of you and Andre behind for the whole race. It's a different challenge, and I think it was just a case of going through the motions of that for the first time. You know, it was an adventure for me, so after the end of the race, it felt like I'd done a lot. I think already today it should feel a bit more smooth.
How is the car different to Mexico around this circuit, one that everyone seems to love?
Strangely, it feels quite similar in terms of the imbalances that we're having in the car and what we're trying to find and what's limiting us anyway. I mean, in quali it was a lot about managing the rear axle in terms of arriving at the right time on track, and I think that would be the limitation against now, to be honest.
All the best, good luck. Let's go and find Sebastian Buemi before we move on to Nicky down the grid. I'm glad that I got Jake's name right, because let's be honest, I forgot Manfred Sandbichler's name. Here he is, Paul Sitter. Sebastian, congratulations. The car is on pole position. This is a moment where obviously you're focused, but we've got to talk about that qualifying session, because you were really honest, you were openly honest, and we appreciate that. You said that you were second-guessing yourself after a couple of seasons.
Yeah, of course. I mean, 2 seasons, you know, at the back, all of a sudden again at the front, you know, so it's always kind of emotional the first time. So I hope I'm going to be able to repeat it in the future, but at least, you know, P6 and second in the group in Mexico, pole here, it shows that, you know, if we put it together, we can do a good job.
With a new team as well, and this is your 15th pole position, which just goes to prove with your emotion earlier on that you never get complacent.
Yeah, no,
well, hello everyone, welcome back to AHGP and welcome to another Formula E watch along. We are going to be watching the Diyriah E-Prix today. If you didn't see qualifying and you are tuning in to join me and watch along with the race, Sebastian Buemi has taken pole position with Jake Hughes alongside him. Although Jake Hughes was actually a little bit fortunate to get through in the duels, because he was down against Dan Ticktum in the semi-final, I think. Because Dan Ticktum's in P4 alongside Sam Bird in third. But yeah, Ticktum was up into the final corner, but he just got a little bit too greedy on the brakes into the final corner. And yeah, he had a bit of a wild moment with the rear end, and he blew it basically, because he had the pace to be on pole position. But take nothing away from Jake Hughes, his lap in the final against Buemi was excellent, and they were separated by about 0.06 of a second, which is such a close margin. And this is, this is obviously what, if you're an F1 fan, this is what you hope for with the very, very best drivers in the world. And that's not to say that we haven't got some excellent talent in Formula E, because we have. We've got the likes of Sebastian Buemi and Jake Hughes and Ticktum. Sam Bird is excellent. You've got Stoffel Van Dorn and who else is there? All of the names have fallen out of my head. We've got Lucas de Grassi, we've got Buemi, we've got
yeah, here's a completely different race from Mexico.
Mitch Evans at Jaguar. There's so many, and they're all very, very good in their own right. And of course, Jake Dennis, who won the opening race. Now, I did watch back the stream from the Mexico E-Prix, Mexico City E-Prix, and I could hear feedback from my computer, whether that's actually from the screen or it was from the headphones that I'm wearing. They were so loud, it was being picked up on the microphone. So hopefully I can fix that today. When I change the scene in a moment on the streaming platform, then hopefully I'll be able to mute the window capture, and hopefully that'll keep me out of trouble. Maybe it is just the headphones and they're being a bit too loud. But let's have a look at the grid. So obviously, as I said, Buemi is on pole, but McLaren have done a really good job. They've got 2 cars in the top 5, and they're the only team, well, there's only them with 2 cars in the top 5, and they're the highest placed pair of a team that have 2 cars in the top 10. So you've got Mahindra, who have got 7th and 8th. We've got the 2 Jaguars 3rd and 6th. Envision are 1st and 10th. So Jake Dennis, who won the first race, is in 11th place with John O'Verne alongside him, another of those stellar names in the category. But world champion Stoffel van Dorn is down in 17th. There's no Max Gunther because he crashed pretty heavily in his ABB Cupra in qualifying, going through the bobsleigh section. It was quite the crunch actually, and he was fortunate actually that he wasn't hurt himself because the chassis, as you'd expect, did a really good job. Antonio Felix da Costa is 13th. Going back to ABB Cupra, they've had a really smashing time in qualifying because not only did Max Gunther crash out, they saw Eduardo Mortara lose the rear end and hit the wall as well. So they had one driver bash up the front of the car and the other driver broke the rear end of the car. So not great for them. Right, let's have a look. We haven't got live timing yet on that window, so I will switch now to my screen capture. Yeah, there you can see the window that we've got at the moment. I will adjust that, I promise. Now I have also put in the chat, pick your winner. So let me know who you think is going to win. Is it going to be poleman Sebastian Buemi, who has the equal most amount of pole positions now in Formula E history? Is it going to be Jake Hughes taking his first win in the series and the first win for McLaren? Or will it be Sam Bird coming through from third on the grid? Remember, he won the Diyriah E-Prix not last year, the year before, in 2021. Or will Dan Tickton take a win for Neo 333, his first win in the series? And hopefully, as you can see under my face here, I've done some editing to the scene for anyone who was here before. So now I've got a bit of a border around the camera, so it looks a bit more professional. Below me, you can see all the videos that have come out this week, including my feature show where I had a chat with Fraser Ford about the Formula One rookies in 2023. So you can download that on Google, Apple and Spotify, most podcast platforms. And below that, hopefully, will be any comments you put in the chat. So we'll actually test it out here. Let's have a running test. So I'll put something in the chat.
Music is certainly a distraction,
so let's
you're just focusing on the opening lap. You know, these drivers here, you can have a look in René Rast's cockpit. If I get Matt, our cameraman, to go in, you see he's looking at his dashboard. He's fiddling through the buttons. On the left is
settings. I like that.
Well, there you go, Stephen Lane, helpfully putting a clipboard in front of the dashboard to block it up. Don't worry, we'll stop looking. Yeah, and they're just trying to get all the settings.
So there we go. I am tipping Jake Hughes for the victory. Hopefully, that'll pop up down here at the bottom of the screen. It hasn't yet on my preview, but we'll wait and see. It's all trial and error, but the stream is working. I'll leave the poll up for a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm going to tune into the drone light show now that is going on in Diriyah. Going to turn the volume up in my ears a little bit. Got the dulcet tones of Vernon Kay in my ears, and shortly it will be Jack Nichols and Oliver Askew in the commentary box.
Well, it's because it's so narrow. You know, when we go a bit further down, you can see we're here in René Rast's position in 5th, but the run from the front row to the first corner is hardly a few meters, and you know, it's when they get there, you go right and left. It's effectively does 18 and 19 on the track map, so it's not where we're parked now. They go around to do that, but it's so narrow when you turn right and left, and we always see incidents. So
these drone light shows are so clever. They've got a palm tree now. It's
just crossing their fingers and hoping to get through unscathed.
Brilliant. Very, very cool. I've brought some snacks as well. Brought some chocolate biscuits. I've got a cup of tea. You can comment in the chat as well. What snacks do you take for when you're watching sport? I'm going to have myself a little biscuit. They are Christmas themed London
going in the runoff area. It
reindeer.
could be more of that again now.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Really excited. Nice to see Sunbird up at the top as well. But obviously, Sebastian Buemi, one of the old guard of Formula E, is up at the front. We are in for a race here in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia.
New era of Formula E. All 5 lights are off. And there's the attack. Oh, super deep.
If you're new around here and you're new to the channel, this is the first time you've seen any of my content, remember to like the stream if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel for more Grand Prix content. And ring the bell as well for notifications. Tell you when I put videos out, and when I go live as well, because I'll be going live tomorrow afternoon for the second race. We've got a steering wheel, racing car steering wheel in the drone light show. That's so cool. And now it's a butterfly. That's very clever.
And the butterfly, something that's indigenous to this area. And throughout the time that Vernon and Karoom were speaking, we've seen one of the drivers running. The cacophony of what we've seen in terms of the synchronization has been absolutely wonderful, and it's all about the celebration of Saudi Arabia and Formula E coming together. We've seen the sun, we've seen the palm tree that's again indigenous to this area, but it's all a celebration and a recognition of when progression and ingenuity and ambition all come together. What we see is something truly special. We absolutely cannot wait for this race to get underway. Now, the lights we've just seen has all taken place in the sky, but what's about to take place is a race under the lights, and let it begin.
We get going for the second round.
All right, we are almost ready for round 2.
The fireworks launch for round
Formula
2
E
of the
World
ABB
Championship.
Formula E World Championship. This, the 2023 core
Let's
Diyriah E-Prix.
strap in and get ready for some exciting action. Remember to leave your comments as the action unfolds, and comment or vote in the poll as well, and let me know who you think is going to win. Will Sebastian Buemi take another victory? Can Jake Hughes win for McLaren, or will it be one of the guys from the second row, Sam Bird or Dan Tickton, the all-British second row?
Race of the season in Mexico City. But here in Diriyah, we could have a new title leader within the hour. This is how the grid will line up then ahead of the second round of this season with these brand new race cars. Nico Muller will be at the back in the Abt Cupra. Kelvin van der Linde's making his debut in 19th. Eduardo Mortara crashed out of qualifying. Stoffel van Dorn's the rating champion. He's down in 17th on the grid for DS Penske.
Of course, I got it wrong earlier. It wasn't Abt Cupra. The Mexican third drive for Maserati, isn't it? And Eduardo Mortara.
For the Neo 333 team.
All the name changes of teams over the winter has completely thrown me.
Into the top 10, Pascal Verline is
and they're not doing the walk down of the top 10 here. Usually they walk down with the camera, don't they? They're doing it with the graphics all the way through.
Smith on the grid. He was very pleased with his qualifying performance. Mitch Evans is glad to be in the mix in the Jaguar TCS car. His teammate Sam Bird starts third ahead of the impressive Dan Tickton in fourth. Second on the grid is Jake Hughes, who qualified third last time out, but on pole position it is Sebastian Buemi for the 15th time in his Formula E career. Jake Hughes was mightily impressive last time out, qualified third, finished fifth, and he will be lining up second here today. He's not quite sure what's going to unfold in the race, as none of the drivers are. That's the most fascinating thing. My name is Jack Nichols. Alongside me here in commentary is Oliver Askew, the former Avalanche Andretti driver. Oliver, Sebastian Buemi is the driver on pole position here. The team are all quite confident. Everybody thinks Buemi's got a real chance of winning this, but there's still a huge amount of unknown going into this E-Prix, as there so often is in Formula E.
The start of this Gen
Okay, we have some live timing now, and hopefully
really
that will
for the start of this
stay
race. We see a bit of a flopped grid compared to Mexico.
sort of live as we go through.
Jaguars up there as well, turning their season around.
But I'll keep an eye on that
quickly,
as we go along.
After Mexico's disappointment. Jake Dennis, both Avalanche
Cars are leaving the
cars,
grid and going to the start grid. So they'll go through the bobsleigh and they'll get some heat into their tyres.
Outside the top 10.
Isn't it just cooler when it's a night race? Everything just looks brighter and all the lights on the cars.
We've also got a debutant, Kelvin van der Linde,
Whatever series you're running in or you're watching,
he's replacing Robin Frantz, who got injured.
Does look a bit cooler, doesn't it?
In Mexico City. So the 26-year-old South African comes into the fray for his first ever single-seater race. He's grown up racing touring cars and GT cars. I would be surprised if we see much of him over the course of the E-Prix, because that Abt Cooper team is struggling a little for pace and he will be towards the back, but great to have Kelvin here. And we head to South Africa actually in 4 weeks' time for the first race in Cape Town. Now, the race is 39 laps long. You have to use attack mode twice, go offline, pick up some extra power, and you can either use it in 1 minute, then 3 minutes, 3 minutes, then 1 minute, or 2 minutes, then 2 minutes. And we will get more into the strategy of that a little bit later on as the cars come round the bottom of the hill. On board with Sam Bird, who's starting third on the grid in his 100th race for the Jaguar in Formula E. And he's racing for the Jaguar TCS team. Behind him is Dan Ticktum in 4th place in the Neo 333 team. This is his best ever grid result. He's only scored 1 point in his Formula E career before, which came last season. And now
So they are forming up onto the start grid
Oliver
now.
Rowland lining up 8th on the grid, 6 podiums in his Formula E career. He's led races before, he's won a race
Lemmy
before,
leading the way, of course.
but he's going to have his work cut out from 8th on the grid. A reminder, Jake Dennis
This could
leads
be
the
a lot of fun.
championship. Second in the
Because the
standings
walls
is Pascal
catch
Wehrlein.
drivers out. It's
Neither
dusty
of them
offline,
are
so
running at the front
we
of the
could
order.
see
Jean-Eric
a couple
Vergne
of safety
as
cars. We
well,
saw 3 safety
competing
cars
his 100th
in
race,
Mexico,
as
and
is
that was a
Sebastian Buemi,
fairly
who lines
open
up on pole position.
circuit. This is one of those classic
from the
Formula E
burnouts
street circuits, and it's
rises
fast
up
with the bobsleigh section.
into the desert
There
night
was talk
sky.
of the need to harvest
Give me
energy
Oliver
and
Rowland, just putting some
save
temperature
energy, and when they're going to
through
deploy
those
it.
rear tyres,
So we
because
might see some lunges
this
in
start
some
is gonna be
different places.
crucial. The leader,
We are almost
the pole
ready
sitter,
to
has
start.
always led at the end of the first lap in the last 7 Diyriah E-Prix. This is going to be a busy turn 1.
Keep an eye on the right, well, you're left now, but the driver's right side of the grid, the much dirtier side of the start.
The first corner is a right-left chicane. There's plenty of runoff space. There's plenty of room to avoid each other.
All right, we're almost
See
ready
whether they all
with the cars on the grid.
manage to pull it off.
The race to the first
39
chicane.
laps of racing, about
Could
to
be
get
some wheel
underway.
banging.
The second round of the championship. Second round of a 16-race season. Jake Hughes, second on the grid. Sebastian Buemi on the right-hand side on pole position. The
We are
season
primed
2
and ready to
champion.
go.
Hasn't won a race for a good few years now. How he would love to take a victory in only his second race for the Envision team. Kelvin van der
Everybody
Linde, the
ready?
rookie, lined up
Everyone
at the
looks
back.
like they're in place. I'm not
And we're
quite
ready
sure
to
what the
go.
delay is. Maybe they're just letting the smoke clear at the
Buemi
back.
on pole, Jake Hughes alongside him. The first of 2 races this weekend in Diriyah.
Come on,
About
guys.
to get underway. The next one coming up in 24 hours' time. Green flag from the back.
Oh, we have a green flag at the back of the grid.
Third in third.
There'll be time for 5 red lights at the front.
Waiting
to
for the
get us
smoke to
started.
clear from the burnouts so that everybody can see the lights.
Oh, yeah, Jack Nicholls just said they're waiting for the smoke to clear.
And here we go. Buemi on pole. Hughes alongside him on the front row. All 5 laps.
And we
are
go!
up. And we go green in Diriyah. Oh, it's a reasonable start from Hughes. Buemi's got a lot of wheel spin. And Jake
Buemi's
Hughes
away
on
into
the
the lead,
on
and
the left-hand side.
Jake Hughes is
Dixon's on the
defending
attack.
into turn 1.
Dixon
There's
right to the
contact!
inside. Oh, Evans
That's
goes in.
Evans and
It's
Rast.
decided René Rast.
And
They all run
it's
wide.
all-
The Hindrance are trying to
they-
creep around.
oh, no.
There's a little bit of
There's-
a collision at the back.
there's someone in the
Up goes
wall.
Antonio Felix da Costa. Out goes Antonio Felix da Costa.
It's Felix da
He's in the
Costa.
barriers at the first corner. But
He's
Buemi
lost his front
did
wing and he's in the
manage to hold
wall.
The lead of the E-Prix as they come out of turn 21. Second is still Hughes, third is still Bird, and then it's Ticktum,
I
and
think
then it's
we're going to
Rast,
have
then
a
it's
safety
Verline,
car.
Evans, Cassidy, DeGrassi, safety car deployed. Safety car
We are.
deployed.
Just a big accordion effect
Instant
there in
safety
turn
car.
19, the left-hander, as you saw.
Scott Elkins, the race director, who has called the safety car for Antonio Felix da Costa. He's managed to make it back into the pits.
Da Costa's got back into the pits, so maybe he can get that fixed and get back into the race. It is the front wing on the track.
Big chunk of the car on the exit.
Yeah, box for front wing. Copy, box for front wing.
Oh, we'll get to do it all again from the start.
I had nowhere to go.
Da Costa saying he had nowhere to go. When
Antonio Felix da Costa just
Constantina's up like that and you're in the middle of the pack, you kind of got nowhere to go. He's completely right. And it was all caused by I think it was Evans going very, very deep and forcing Rast wide. Rast has somehow held on to fifth. Safety car's going to be in at the end of this lap. It's probably not even on the track yet. So it's essentially a VSC. Verline's got up to 6th from 9th on the grid. He's taken advantage of the carnage. Oliver Rowland's been a big loser at the start. He's down to 13th. Van Dorn is up from 17th to 15th.
Mode now, hoping for another safety car in order to catch the rear of the field.
Da Costa is going to be well out of this in terms of distance. He's going to need another safety car to catch up.
From the front before, not a stranger to it.
And we have the green flag. Here we go. We'll restart.
When will he decide to go again? Safety car is in. There goes Buemi.
Buemi's away.
And everybody trying to follow him as
Rowland
quickly
has
as
dropped
possible.
down to 14th.
Into the final corner at turn 21 and out across the line again.
Did he lose
so
a place?
Back under green flag
Or has he had to give one back? No, Oliver Rowland's going into the pit lane. That's what's happening. He must have some damage.
Of Jean-Eric Verne for 11th position. Jake Dennis has got up into 10th place because Rowland is pitted as well. So Rowland may be getting damage after being hit from behind. But we're on board here with Dan Ticktum down the bobsleigh run in the early part of the lap. He's running in 4th. Sam Bird is up ahead of him.
Probably the most technical portion of the racetrack here, just balancing the car on the throttle. Now big break into turn 11. Ticktum made it known to us that he doesn't believe his car is as efficient as the others, so it's in his best interest now to at least keep position or make some moves going forward.
The interesting part is when does that efficiency sort of bear fruit? Is it the first half
So
of the race,
everyone
or is it towards
fairly
the end?
safely through the first run, the first proper run through the bobsleigh. Back over the start grid.
The green Envision. The orange McLaren is second of Jake Hughes. Third is the black and white Jaguar of Sam Bird. Dennis going a little defensive to cover a potential move from Jean-Eric Verne. Kelvin van der Linde still running in the pack on his Formula E debut, up into 17th now. As they come down.
Buemi just stretching away a little bit from Hughes. He's got Sam Bird. He can almost reach out and grab the McLaren. That's how close he is.
Dennis had a decent start from 12th now.
Dennis is up to 10th.
P10. Tires still not up to temperature, I would say.
You can hear them squealing as they make their way down the hill.
Sam Bird did the fastest lap.
Mitch Evans. Well, he got involved at the start, Mitch Evans, with Rene Rast. Here we go.
I'm going to bring the live timing up on my other screen.
Buemi, but he got away with it. Ticktum thought about being a hero.
Have a look. Here we go. Here's got the replay. Yeah, it was Mitch Evans with a lock up on the right front.
And just
forced everyone.
Going into the first corner into the chicane, and
just a disaster, isn't it?
Kind of had nowhere to go, really.
Nowhere to go.
Ended up in the wall.
An innocent bystander, and
whoa!
Who's that on the
That's
outside?
Van Dorn. Van Dorn going past both Nissans around
Van
the
Dorn with an
outside
amazing move on the outside.
Majestic
Heads up
from
driving
Stoffel
there.
Van Dorn. Here's the fight though, and Bird's ahead.
Sam Bird has got through.
Sam Bird has got ahead, and he's up into second place.
He's passed
now.
the McLaren.
He's won here twice before. Sam
Bird, a
Bird,
two-time winner around Diriyah. He's got some pace in that Jaguar. He topped FP1 yesterday.
Versus Buemi is going to be the battle now, because there's only one reason Bird is that decisive early on, and that's because he wants to win the E-Prix.
Bird straight away onto the back of Buemi, and Hughes and Ticktum, I think they're going to be left to fend off Rene Rast and Pascal Verline. The guys behind them.
Than the rest of the field at the moment.
Got the track map up here. Oliver Rowland and Antonio Felix da Costa are on the other side of the track. They're just going through turns 2 and 3, and the rest of the pack are coming through the chicane at the start of the race, the start of the lap. Just saw a replay there of Bird getting up the inside into the first corner. He's really hustling the car, sliding through turn 16.
You can tell by the body language of the car.
When Sam Bird is in this sort of mood, there's very little to stop him. He's one of the best overtakers in the field. So many drivers say if you see Sam Bird in your mirror,
Buemi seems
you
to
know
have
you're in trouble.
backed
He's pulled
off a
off
little
some
bit.
audacious overtakes over the years. He had a miserable year last season, never made it onto the podium while his teammate was in title contention.
Didn't tell us the last
Bird's back at the moment, and look how close
Bird.
he is. Fastest lap of the race,
2 tenths of a lap quicker than Buemi.
Driver's eye inside the helmet with Sam
Jake
Bird.
Hughes matching Sam Bird that time around.
Plunges downhill now.
How close they're getting to the walls. There's just no margin.
Bird absolutely
You hear the
hustling
boom as he hits the curb.
the back of the Envision car. Remember, he used to race for that team when they were in Envision version, so
downhill and then a big compression at the bottom.
got a lot of friends there.
Slightly.
In fact, the fastest lap last time around was Norman Nato with a 12.6.
Through turn 11, 12, 13. Now, one more corner until the back straightaway, where I believe he's going to have a shot at overtaking Buemi. So try and get a strong exit of this corner.
All right, here we go. He's onto the
And he does.
the start straight. Has he got
Might have a look
enough of a
at turn
slipstream? I don't think there's that much of a slipstream effect in these cars. DaCosta's taken some attack mode.
Holds his line. Rene Rast is defending a little bit further back.
There is the attack mode on the outside of turn 2.
Led a lap last season.
Tango 6, Alpha 9. Good work, mate. Keep it up. Slightly up on Buemi.
Sam Bird giving a bit of a code to his team.
Feedback to the team of how much energy he has remaining, and they're saying we think you've got a bit more than Sebastian Buemi.
He's
Pascal
really
Wehrlein three
just.
places at the start, as you can see on the left-hand side.
This is excellent from Sam Bird, but Buemi's driving sensibly. He's not going to be scared off the road.
Cars. Envision, the green team that Buemi there in the lead is driving for, is powered by the Jaguar team, and these two have a long, long history of fighting it out for the lead. I remember back in 2016, they had one of the best fights for a win in Formula E history in Buenos Aires. The roles were reversed that time. Bird was trying to hold off Buemi, and now Bird is trying to get ahead of Buemi. Both in their 100th Formula E race, and he's close again this time through 16. Oh, Buemi gets good exits.
Still might think about it now.
Buemi's just set the fastest lap with an 11.6, a tenth quicker than Sam Bird, but there's nothing much in it really. It wasn't really a tenth, it was really a quarter of a tenth.
Which you'll see when they do. They go through the outside mode there.
Jake Hughes is just matching him. He's 11.9s, Tictum 12.0.
I don't believe there's any team orders here, but probably
there's a gap now opening up between second and third.
Look how much they're pulling away from Hughes.
We're going to see a replay here of what happened to Oliver Rowland.
This is a replay of DaCosta.
Oh, he's
on the outside here and just gets
I think it's where he's been hit by DaCosta. He's got some damage to the rear of the car.
Yeah, that was on the opening lap.
Or was it the front? It's actually the front wing. He's got some damage to the front wing. The front wing is a bit wonky.
In all of that. But back to the fight at the
Bird
front.
is just right on.
As they come down to the bottom of the hill at turn 14.
Sebastian Buemi.
And this is pressure for Buemi, right?
He's got more pace.
He's a super experienced guy, Buemi, multiple winner of Le Mans, a
Formula E
champion. But here we go with Bird again.
Back onto the start straight. Can he make the move this time? He's going for the inside. Sam Bird down the inside. He takes the lead. Excellent move.
Sam Bird takes the lead of the Diyriah E-Prix. Buemi drops down to second position.
Nick Cassidy now with the fastest lap in the other Envision racing car.
He's won here twice before in the 7 races. And as he comes across the line to start lap 8, he is leading the way. But Buemi's still
the timing is a little bit ahead of the stream that I'm watching, so I'm seeing some things happen on the times, and they haven't necessarily happened on my stream. But hey, that's the internet for you.
The 2 apt cars. Kelvin van der Linde has now been passed by Eduardo Mortara, and that is Nico Muller who's running at the back.
Hello to Chris Sandor. Thank you for joining in with this watch along. Yeah, you listen to Sam Bird's radio. Is he saying anything of note? Is he anything that hasn't been broadcast yet?
They're closing back in. There's also this fight, which is 5th, 6th, 7th. Rast in the orange car there, the McLaren, followed by Wehrlein, followed by Evans, and they are all right together as they come through. These cars look really great. really, really great as they come through turn.
And Tictum's
16.
starting to hold up
Language for a moment because they look so
the
cool.
pack. In fact, well, Buemi actually is being caught by Jake Hughes.
Many drivers.
The gap there is now just half a second. Tictum's about 3/4 of a second behind McLaren. And then you've got Ras, Verline, Evans, Cassidy. Cassidy's about a second off of Mitch Evans.
Here's a look at Sam Bird taking the lead.
Here we go. It's a classic Diriyah overtake. Get into the chicane and...
Into turn 18.
They played the one... Yeah, that's probably the one that we needed to know because he had the power, he had the speed. Now he's pulling away at the front. He's already a second and a half in the clear. And the last time around, he was 7/10 of a second faster than Sebastian Buemi. This is a superb drive in the making from Sam Bird. Remember, he had his first winless Formula E season last year. And this is a welcome return to form for Sam Bird. And Jake Hughes has closed up. Oh, we got a long break. We got René Rast going wide.
Lock up from René Rast. Sends it in way too deep.
Now McLaren has lost a position to Verline. He's held off Mitch Evans. A number of drivers, Dennis, Vern, Lotterer, Sete Camera, Van Dorn, all going for attack mode for various amounts of time.
1 minute. Lotterer also for 2.
Okay, this is going to get pretty exciting, I think, in the next few minutes because we've got some drivers in attack mode and the drivers ahead of them are going to have to respond to that in some form. And if drivers are starting to make mistakes, look, here we go. Ras going deep. Jake Dennis making an overtake on De Grassi for the second race in a row.
Roger Griffiths, the boss of the Avalanche Andretti team. Dennis up to 10th.
If I talk smack about the race director, I'm joking. He's a good friend of yours. Well, actually, I think Scott Elkin's a good guy. I think he does a really good job.
Jake Dennis, remember, is the championship leader. And at the moment,
you know, if there's any other series out there looking for a race director who tends to make good decisions, I don't know if there's any out there that are looking for race directors. You let me know. Jake Dennis up to 9th place. Oh, Tictum has missed. Is that Tictum?
Dan Tictum activates his attack mode from 4th place.
It
looked like he was missing it.
So he's gonna really try.
That was weird. I'm not sure who that was. I'm sure it was Tictum. He's dropped from 4th to 7th now.
Coming into turn 1, and Tictum needs to get ahead of these two as quickly as possible. Really,
it's all happening. Here's
Porsche. What's he up to?
Verline in the...
Oh, that was just him overtaking.
Oh, okay, we've got just a replay of Verline overtaking René Rast.
And then Evans tried to get ahead. Lap 11 of 39. Bird,
hello to Aries at Team Apt. Yes, it's not going very well for them. Van der Linde, they're doing a good job in as a rookie. Not an easy place to come in as a rookie. And Nico Muller was the guilty party in terms of damaging the car in practice earlier today, which meant he didn't get out for qualifying. Which for an experienced driver you would you'd expect him to have done. Fenestraz has gone into the pit lane. For some reason, we got a car going straight on. That is Mitch Evans.
Mitch Evans deep at turn 1.
Several drivers now going straight on at the chicane.
Tictum gains a place.
And Tictum takes 6th place from the Jaguar. Now you've got Jean-Eric Verne right on him.
He immediately lost deceleration.
Oh, I did not know that about Scott Elkins.
See replay of Fenestraz.
What's the French Argentine been up to?
Yeah, I suppose Michael Masi gets the...
Hitting the wall.
Fenestraz has damaged his front wing. That's why he's gone into the pit lane. He's done it in exactly the most opportune place. The entrance to the pit lane was right next to him.
Tricky to get right in these attack modes. Oh, and there's a touch there.
There's contact with someone ahead of him.
That was Sete Camera getting hit by...
Sete Camera, they're saying, ahead of him. I think there might have been contact there.
Was hit by, but Fenestraz or someone hitting...
It's just all happening. It's all happening. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, trying to keep up with the action.
A little bit of extra help from, I believe that was a Porsche.
Sam Bird is pulling away up front.
Yeah, with that mistake.
What's his gap now?
It's so
it is up to almost 2 seconds.
Lose grip. going offline there to take attack mode. It's so dusty here at this circuit.
Ian James watching Jake Hughes in the fight for
Don't know about you guys, but what would be really cool is if we got to do this all again tomorrow.
By 1.7 seconds. Sebastian Buemi is second in the Envision.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds now. The lead for Sam Bird. Jake Hughes is stuck a little bit behind Sebastian Buemi. I think we saw this in Mexico. He was right on De Grassi's tail, but he just couldn't make the pass.
Copy. Push a bit more. Push a bit more.
Sam Bird being told to push a bit more.
Push a bit more is the message to Sam Bird. So they're happy for him to consume that.
Looks like he's got even more pace.
Time penalty for Mitch Evans for the
Mitch Evans, 5-second time penalty.
That must have been with Rast a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, that must have been at the start.
Evans,
because he forced Rast off the road at the first corner and essentially triggered the whole start line catastrophe for Antonio Felix da Costa.
Running in 8th position, right behind Nick
Looking at Jake Dennis.
He continues to make pretty good
He's chasing Nick Cassidy.
Flat out attack. Flat out attack.
Sam Bird has just taken 3 minutes of attack mode. So does Pascal Verlaine and Rene Rast. They've stayed ahead of Dan Ticktum. That's crucial. Ticktum has now lost 2 places. And he won't be getting those back anytime soon.
Sam Bird, he's now going to have attack mode, keep the lead. And
Bird has kept the lead in it and got attack mode, so he'll be tearing off into the distance.
And here we go,
Hi, Brethren John, friend of the channel.
On the plank, under the
How are you doing?
down the bobsleigh run.
You hear him coasting, then regen.
Got an amazing underfloor camera shot here. This is very cool. You can see just how close the cars get to the floor of the circuit.
This right-hander and back up the hill. Here's a look at
Here's Mitch Evans.
So this is him going to the inside
Oh,
and locking up and going straight on.
is that what the incident was for? He's just locked up and gone straight on. I'm not sure that's the one.
I'm not sure that's what the penalty would have been for.
Oh, there's a bit of debris in the middle of the track
really
now.
Happened. No. So I think the penalty must have been for earlier on in the race somewhere.
It must have been for turn 1. Nico Müller is back into the pit lane.
Buemi in second still. Now Hughes is
Now
starting to
just
come
cap
under
off
pressure
a
from the Porsche of Verlaine,
dismal
and
day
Verlaine's doing it again here.
for
He's
him.
in 4th place. He started the race 9th. In Mexico City, he went from 6th to 2nd. He's now gone from 9th to 4th, and he's looking at 3rd. So that Porsche looks like it's very strong come the race.
Oh yeah, 10.4 for Rene Rast.
Now in 7th.
He is in attack mode, but that is some serious pace. Bear in mind, Sam Bird at the front is doing 11.2s in attack mode, and Pascal Verlaine did an 11 flat in attack mode.
Of course, hours and hours.
So Rast is only 6/10 behind Verlaine. If he can keep in on the Porsche, he might have a chance of perhaps catching his teammate.
Now, here comes the attack again for 3rd.
Verlaine still attack 1 minute. Use energy to defend in 18.
And they're now right on Jake Hughes, who has not taken any attack mode yet.
Managed to keep Verlaine behind him for now, or has
If he can keep the German behind him, he's only got another 25 seconds to last in terms of surviving. And I think he will, because he'll get through the bobsleigh. But the problem now is that if he takes attack mode, he's going to drop behind this pair.
Rene Rast has joined this fight as well in 5th position, and he's joined the back. It's a queue for 2nd, really.
Yeah, it's one of the most difficult circuits on the calendar to overtake. Pascal just trying to fill his mirrors and push.
Well, Hughes has just banged in a purple first sector.
But he's shown so far this year that
he's definitely got pace in the McLaren. Both McLarens have got pace,
Jake Hughes
interestingly.
Fastest first sector of the race so far.
I think Bird is now just managing his pace at the front of the field.
There's the attack modes remaining, so those with 4 minutes have not activated attack mode at all to get their extra 50 kilowatts of power from 300 up to 350.
Yeah, Buemi, Hughes and Evans have yet to activate any attack mode.
A little bit wide maybe from Buemi. Hughes' radio.
Okay, Verlaine is out of attack. Let's just settle in behind Buemi now.
Rene Rast has taken his second dose of attack mode quite early, actually.
that is leading this race.
We're only on lap
Diriyah.
17 of
Then it's
39.
this second, third, fourth place battle. Buemi, Hughes, Verline,
Yeah, Ras did take the second attack mode.
Attack mode, and that's his second attack mode, isn't it?
So maybe
he's
that's
out
a
of attack
tactical
mode,
ploy
but
from
he
McLaren
will
to
be
try
at
and
the
get ahead of
11.5.
Verline.
Tictum losing a couple
And
of
then
positions. Going
when
through the
Hughes
attack,
takes
so
his attack modes, they can
Dennis and Cassidy
play
up
tactically
one.
and make sure they get
Tictum
at least
after
one
running
car on
well
the
early
podium.
on,
That's kind of
was
smart
like
from them.
fourth, was worried about the efficiency of the Neo powertrain.
Dan Tictum's going backwards. He's down in 8th.
Lap 17
He was
of
saying he was
39.
concerned about his car's efficiency. And that's a shame for Dan because he drove a brilliant qualifying session. His pace was excellent. And but for
Still doing a reasonable job.
a flick of the rear end, braking a bit too late, he'd have been on the front row.
His engineer was very much settling behind Buemi. There didn't seem to be any. What was the message? Foxtrot.
Here goes Jake Hughes.
Urgent
Going through
Foxtrot?
attack now. There he is.
Yeah, falls
lost a
behind
couple positions.
Verline
And that
and
is his first
Rene
attack mode.
Rast.
One to his teammate, Rene Rast.
Foxtrot urgent, I think, was the message for Jake Hughes when he needs to make an
Rene
overtake.
Rast has just
He
set
didn't
the
receive
fastest
that
lap of the
there.
race.
Lap 18 of 39. Across the line, down towards turn 1.
With a 10.1. That, I know he's in attack mode, but that is some serious speed.
Sam Bird leading the Diyriah E-Prix here in the Jaguar. Second is the green Envision of Sebastian Buemi.
We're just getting a replay of the start. Evans actually makes a really good start. He shoots out into the middle of the circuit. He's alongside Rene Rast, and then just, I think because of all the dust, he just locks it up. And Jack Nicholls describing it as doinking.
Well, he looked like he might have
Yeah, just forcing.
jumped the start as well. I don't know if that's what their
Oh.
penalty was for. But
Oliver Askew's suggesting he might have jumped the start, but
it was
he wouldn't have got
hitting
5
Rast.
seconds for a jump
I don't
start.
know. Opening corner is a bit of a harsh one, but he did hit him.
What do you think of the penalty?
took him out of the race. He eventually
Fair? Not fair?
Same position at the end.
Yeah, snuck in front of him. So
Right, here's energy remaining, and Rene Rast has a little less than the.
Personally,
front.
I would say that's kind of fair because he's essentially triggered the whole
Then
melee at the start. That's cost DaCosta and Oliver Rowland quite dearly. He's forced another car off the track at the start, so
You can see the energy struggles.
yeah, I'd say that's about fair.
19 of 39.
Let me know what you think in the chat though, guys.
Look at Verline. Verline's carving through the field again in the Porsche. He's right on the back of Buemi now with more energy. Another super drive.
Verline has got 54% energy. He's got more than Bird and Buemi. His pace is pretty good.
So that's Bird.
Just looking at it, let's have a look at the pace the last time around. Yeah,
saying,
3/10 quicker than the
good.
leader.
Verline is looking racy here. Very good. In the black and red Porsche.
Although I would say that
Third place
Bird
at the
is just
moment.
managing
Don't think
his
it'll be third place
pace.
for long.
very similar to race to what he had in Mexico. Started a bit further back, still within the top 10, and made his way up onto the podium. I would say that Pascal is Sam Bird's real only threat to win this race. Although you have another Jaguar-powered car in front of you, so
Evans has now got past Dan Tickton
communication again between the two
for
front
8th place.
Only one victory in his Formula E career. Pascal Verlaine.
Jake Dennis is up to
What is his
P6
50th
now.
race start today.
Okay, good job, Pascal. 20 laps remaining. Good job.
Carl Wilson-Clark letting him know that we're at the halfway point of the E-Prix.
Look at
And by the
Verlaine,
halfway
he is.
point, he's gone from 9th to 3rd.
He's driving
All he needs to do
superbly
is go
again.
from 2nd to 1st
Drove an
now in the
excellent
second
race
half.
in Mexico, sliding through the bobsleigh section, but
Buemi is
he's right
getting a
on
bit
Buemi,
closer
who's
to
just got
Bird
no
as he
race
tries
pace
to
really.
defend from Verlaine. The
He's
gap's come
doing
down by a
doing
couple of
fine,
tenths
but
on that last lap.
he's not used any
being
attack mode
forced
yet.
to pick up the pace and possibly using.
But he's finding himself
more
under
energy
pressure
than
from
he'd like.
drivers who,
Buemi still
well,
hasn't
Bird
activated
started
an
in
attack
3rd
mode
and
either.
Verlaine
If he does
started
that
back
this
in
time around,
9th.
Verlaine will be through. Into turn 18 and 19. Does he go this time, Buemi?
No, Buemi
he
still
does
doesn't
not.
go
So they
for
are
the
biding
attack
their
mode.
time.
Rene
Look at
Rast is
Dennis.
completely out of
Jake Dennis in the
attack
Avalanche
mode.
Andretti, the championship leader, is now at the back of this pack.
Increase ENO, let's try and build a gap. Increase ENO, one more step.
And ticked him down to 10th.
So he's
Jean-Nic Vern's just gone
radio
past him,
message
looking back from
was
Sam
to tell
Bird.
Sebastian Buemi that they're looking to use attack within
He was the
next
quickest
couple
man
laps,
last time around.
He's raising
So Nick Cassidy did a
pace.
10.2, Mitch Evans did a 10.9.
Consuming a bit more energy over the next
Sam
few
Bird at the
laps,
front did
trying
an
to build that gap
11.1,
to
which
the
was
car
3/10 quicker than
in order to not
Buemi,
lose
2/10 quicker than
once he goes
Verline.
through the attack
Ray
sequence.
Rust,
But that's gonna be
11.2, Jake
difficult to
Hughes,
do.
11.1.
Pascal has pace.
Are they thinking more about the McLaren's running in 4th and 5th? If they can build a bit of a gap to the McLaren's, and they can be then safe from them. This is the view back from the race leader, Sam Bird. Down into turn 14.
Okay, so that was a wild few laps, wasn't it? We had overtakes, we had attack modes and strategy calls. I think it's just going to settle down for now. We've still got quite a few drivers with some attack mode time remaining, so that's going to come into play in the next 7 or 8 laps perhaps. We'll probably want it done before lap 30, 32 to make sure that any untimely late safety cars. Jake Dennis has taken attack mode.
As I say, Jake Dennis from 12th up into 6th there in the red and white. Andretti coming through under pressure from Nick Cassidy. Then you've got Mitch Evans in 8th. 9th is Vern. 10th now is Tictum, just ahead of Andre Lotterer. Then it's Degrassi. So the two both of the Mahindras have slipped out of the points. That's Eduardo
We're actually getting to see some of the guys in the midfield for a few moments, which we haven't been able to do because it's all been kicking off at the front.
Buemi behind him. Dennis is in attack mode at the moment as well. That is his second attack mode of the day.
Looks like Verline has the best chance to win the race. Well, he's certainly got the speed to do it. But I think that the pace that Sam Bird showed earlier, unless he's killed the tyres, then I think he's got the best package. Verline's got the obvious problem that he's behind 2 cars. So
with a bit of slipstream.
we've got Dennis having a look at the back of Jake Hughes. He's in attack mode, of course, is Jake Dennis.
Been running in second in the early stages.
2% more than both McLaren's.
He's just been told he's got 2% more than the McLaren's
of both the cars
in terms of energy.
That's a big advantage. Plus
That's quite a big advantage. Let's have a look at the pace. All of the top 3 did 11.1s. Rast 11.3, Hughes 11.4, Dennis, of course, in attack mode at 10.6.
Main straight next time, but might be able to get ahead using energy. I said to him on the grid, I know you guys spoke to him as well, but I said, points from here? He went, yeah. I said, easily? He said, no, but, you know, maybe we can do it. He could be in the top 5 here by the end of this E-Prix, the way things are going.
I think he's even surprised by the pace of the Porsche powertrain and Andretti's cars this year.
Especially in the race, they are, because he was in a league of his own in Mexico City. The only one who
Hughes is dropping back from René Rast. Perhaps Hughes is still learning a lot about the Bird and Buemi now taking attack mode. Verline up into second.
Does he come out ahead? Lost out. Yes.
Pascal's through to second.
He's got ahead
and Verline is right on the back of Bird now. Bird has done just enough there to hang on to the lead.
Bird has attack mode, but Verline has another attack mode remaining.
Verline has attack mode remaining as well, 1 minute of it. But that's huge for Sam Bird because Verline will have to take attack mode and then perhaps fall behind Buemi and potentially Rast or Hughes as well.
He won't actually have it by the time they get to the run up the hill.
Here's Buemi going for attack mode.
Activating his attack mode and losing out to Verline. And that's how Verline got so close to Bird. Here they come down towards turn 16. Verline's got 2% more energy than Bird. The Porsche
Bird is now under 40% energy. Verline is in a really, really good position. And here goes Verline, Pascal Verline. Oh, so close.
Oh, so close. Verline.
It showed the nose to the inside, almost took the lead. Sam Bird held his nerve and held the lead.
Well, his pace makes it look like he's in attack mode.
Yeah.
He still has 1 left.
Verline still has a minute of attack mode remaining.
Okay, Bird is out of attack now. He's out of attack now. You're up on energy, 1% to him.
You can hear Carl Wilson-Clark's getting a bit agitated. He knows the win is on here. He's got a minute of attack mode to use at some point. Buemi's got 2 minutes after this as well.
Let's have a look at Buemi's pace at the moment. So he's out of attack mode now. So let's see what his pace is like on the next lap around, because if he's about a second off of the lead.
Quite serious from the Porsche crew.
So let's see what his pace is like, and if Wehrlein perhaps can stay ahead of Buemi. Oh, he's going for the lead this time. Here he goes. He's locked up. He's gone deep. Bird retakes the lead.
Bird back in front.
Excellent move.
Overcooks it as he goes for the lead.
Wehrlein very, very deep. But Bird sweeping back through. He saw it coming.
Joining the party now.
And that is going to cost Pascal Wehrlein. He had to do it. He had to get away, but he's potentially blown his chance there of winning this E-Prix.
But will it be as easy?
Will he have the energy advantage that he did last time through? You could see him on the... That's the tough thing here. Even if you are on the inside, it's so dirty on the inside offline.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to make the corner. Let's see it again.
Right, we're going to get a replay here. We're looking back from Sam Bird.
He's quite a long way back, isn't he?
It's a big, big dive, isn't it?
Sends it.
And Bird just allows him to go through, sees what's happening. Wehrlein's desperately trying to get there to the apex. And Bird sort of gives him a squeeze on the exit of the corner.
Remember Sam Bird, last time he won here, he and Robin Freitz had a magnificent battle over the course of 4 or 5 laps. No pass this time.
Dennis having a look at Hughes again.
Wehrlein's made up 7 places. Look at that. Last time,
Wehrlein up 7 places. It's been a superb drive, even if he doesn't win. That's still a brilliant effort.
Nick Cassidy is the car at the back of this queue in the second green.
The top 7 all separated by,
so he now has
what,
joined the
4.5 seconds?
During the course of
that's
the
pretty
E-Prix.
good. Wehrlein really closing up on Bird again.
Here's Bird's radio.
Try and save energy through the snake.
Bird being instructed to try and save energy.
Which is this downhill sequence of corners, still holding the lead at the moment. Lap 27 of 39, Sam Bird still holding the lead of the E-Prix, survived the attack from Pascal Wehrlein. Buemi in third.
Hughes has fallen back a little bit, about a second now off of his teammate.
Because it's so difficult to, nearly impossible.
There's Wehrlein again, sizing up a move on Bird. And they've got a back marker in, well, I say a back marker, they've got Antonio Felix da Costa coming up ahead, which is the other Porsche, of course.
Some energy in that portion of the racetrack to kind of try and back up.
And Wehrlein right all over the back. Bird weaving around to keep him at bay.
That's the view back from Bird.
It is Felix da Costa ahead of them, isn't it? Let me have a look. Close this bit.
So close to the walls. Here's a look at Dennis. This was his nearly move on Jake. No, he's got ahead of Hughes.
I think there's a car ahead of them.
So Dennis has got ahead of Jake Hughes, and he's now up into 5th position.
Is that Hughes taking attack mode again? Looks like it to me.
Hughes
Yes.
and Wehrlein qualified 9th and 12th, and now Wehrlein's 2nd and Dennis is 5th.
So Hughes down to 7th, but he's now in attack mode behind Cassidy. Jake Dennis up from 12th to 11th to 5th.
Is he going for this time? Ask you yes or no.
Here comes Wehrlein again.
Bird giving him a bit of a fade
Bird covering
there,
the inside, squeezing Wehrlein to the outside, and says no way through here. Runs a little bit wide deliberately to cover off the apex for the next corner. Textbook defensive driving. Wehrlein is just swarming the back of the Jaguar.
Lap 28. This is just so reminiscent of one of your drives from last season. That's why I got confused. Feisty, fighty, quick.
Back through the snake bobsleigh section.
Handsome.
Bird slightly wide.
Yes, sir.
Hughes and Evans almost out of attack mode now.
The thing is, can he hold off Wehrlein for another 11 laps?
I think it's going to kick off here. Sam Bird wants to win.
Oliver Askew saying he thinks it's all going to kick off in a bit.
Wants to live to fight another day. Obviously has pace in that car, has found some pace in that car. looking at a championship run, of course.
If it finishes
the
like
gap
this,
back to
Verline and
Buemi?
Dennis
They
will be level
are
on points at the top of the
only
championship.
about 3/4 of a second
Something
ahead
tells
of
me It
Buemi.
isn't going to finish like this. Bird again, middle
Bird
of the
again
road.
covering the inside.
He knows
So
if he
Verline's
can-
by no means safe.
If Verline has to go right to the inside wall, he isn't going to be able to get it stopped.
Rani
Just
Ras
like
could be in a
last
good
time.
position here, because if he gets ahead of these
To the
two
final
because they have
corner
to
at
take attack
21.
mode, if he can make his car really wide, then
It doesn't matter how
he's got a
close
really good
Verline
chance.
is here through the
Obviously,
downhill sequence.
the other two will have
Possible
attack
to
mode
overtake. That's what I
if
was saying.
Verline and
Bird
Buemi, when Verline and
has
Buemi
been told that
take
he has
it.
look at it there. He has a 1%, almost 2% deficit to Pascal. So he's going to try and make that up through this section by coasting slightly more than the strategy is telling him to.
Bird still
And then he's going to be able to
had a
deploy that
deficit in
on the
energy
back
to
straightaway where it is
Verline, and
possible
that's his
for
that's his
Pascal to
problem
try
at
and
the moment.
overtake.
Verline's just been able to manage his energy. If you look at Jake Dennis, he's got the same amount of energy left. Must be something in that Porsche powertrain that's just super efficient.
Oh, he's so close. He's so close.
Team not talking to Bird at all. Yeah, but just let him be at the moment. I mean, go full Kimi Raikkonen. You know what to do. And here comes Verline. He's back up the inside. Can he take the lead this time? Yes, he can. He's got it. He's got it this time. But he's still got to take attack mode. Still got to take attack mode.
Not close enough. Verline got the inside and now has hit the front. And if it stays like this, well, would move into the lead of the championship, but Dennis has got ahead of Rast. Jake Dennis is now up into 4th place.
And Jake Dennis is now up into 4th.
But Bird down to 2nd. Just nothing he could do in the end.
Yeah, just
So our third different race leader now, Pascal Verline, looking for his second E-Prix victory.
Didn't fight so much. He knows the car behind him is much better on pace and energy.
Because what they don't want to do is fight too hard and then end up.
Yeah,
having
Bird
less
just
energy
didn't
than everyone
get that
and
one
getting
covered
swamped
off
by
in
everyone.
time. Left the door open. And now Verline is pulling away.
Pascal Verline leading the Diyriah E-Prix. Sam Bird in 2nd.
And Chris, you called this right. I mean, Verline really has delivered a super performance.
So here is the order. Verline, then Bird in 2nd.
Will he take attack mode now? Let's see. No. That's Rast defending Cassidy.
Cassidy is fighting with
Buemi has now
Jake
taken
Hughes
attack mode
here.
and
Buemi activates
drops
his next
behind
attack
Jake
mode.
Dennis.
So that's Rene Rast Cassidy's fighting with. So Cassidy's just come out
Jake
of
Hughes
nowhere.
has dropped down
Hughes
to
is dropping
7th.
back. Jean-Eric Verns up into 8th place. We're on board with New Zealander Nick Cassidy now. Running in 6th position through turn 1. So those McLaren's are struggling a little in the race here in a way that they didn't really in Mexico City. Struggling is strong. They're running in 5th and 7th, but slithering back a tiny bit.
Verline absolutely flying at the front. He's done a 10.5 last time around.
That Jake Dennis is up into 3rd.
Some 0.6 of a second
So
quicker
Jake
than Bird.
Dennis in the Andretti up into 3rd place from 12th on the grid. Remarkable
Bird is
stuff.
really having to manage his energy.
Impressive drives from Jake.
He's not got the efficiency.
Usually his podium finishes have come from starting in the front, but now he's really had to fight for it.
Pascal Verline leading the way. Bird 2nd. Dennis 3rd. Buemi 4th. Rast 5th. 6th is Cassidy. 7th is Hughes. Then 8th is Vern. 9th is Evans. 10th is Lotterer. And then running at the back at the moment, DaCosta and Rowland after that contact on the opening lap.
Verline still has an energy.
He's got an energy advantage and an attack mode remaining.
Yeah, even with that overtake.
Yeah. So what can Jake Dennis do now? 3rd place for Jake Dennis, and he's right on the back of Sam Bird.
And Bird is slipping right back. He's now slipped into the clutches of Jake Dennis.
Down towards
Buemi hasn't
14,
caught Dennis.
Bird is now 1.4 seconds back from Verline.
As my headphones disconnect. We've got a yellow flag now.
Leading, but this is the battle for 2nd place. Jake Dennis and
Mortara's in the pits. We've got a yellow flag.
There's a yellow somewhere as well.
What's going on? There's a yellow coming up towards turn 1.
So no overtaking.
There we go.
Someone's gone off potentially.
The Okay, we get no copy from your radio. You should have 6.5 laps remaining, 2% more.
Yellow is gone. Maybe there was just a bit of debris on the track.
So they're not
Haven't
hearing
seen
Dennis
anything.
on the radio.
The Andretti team can't hear Jake Dennis on the radio.
Dennis isn't going flying blind because in theory he can hear them.
He has all the information on his wheel.
Yeah.
How much energy
Bird
he
is
has.
1.6 behind
He's going to
Verline
make it to the end of the race.
So Verline's in it.
Although these cars don't have live telemetry.
He's just got to take that attack mode and get to the finish.
It's going to be a bit confusing. This is a replay of...
It's Cassidy going through attack mode. Oh no, Buemi, sorry, going through attack mode earlier on. Lap 34
Quite sure why Mortara's in the pit lane, but
the fight on for second position.
maybe it was
Dennis
him who caused that yellow flag.
Fastest lap of the race currently is Rene Rast, so if Dennis gets ahead of Sam Bird, he will have the lead of the championship by 1 point over Pascal Wehrlein at the end of this E-Prix. How hard does Bird
McLaren, yeah, it's not quite worked out for them, but they're still, well, I say they're still learning. It was the Mercedes team last year. Here goes Jake Dennis for second place.
Up into the chicane and he's through.
And he's got it, and Verline has taken attack mode. Can he hang on to the lead? Yes.
Isn't quite close enough to take advantage of it, but he's going to be right on the back of Wehrlein. This is going to be a straight fight now.
But Verline and Dennis are going to go head-to-head in the final few laps here.
Dennis leads the standings
4 laps to go. Verline's got attack mode, but actually has a percent less energy. Surely Jake Dennis can't win this race.
That's the question. He's looking racy. Both Porsche powertrains running 1 and 2. Very impressive, coming from a dominant performance in Mexico as well. Bird radio.
Head down, maximise efficiency. You've got more energy than Buemi and P4. These Porsches are about 1% up on us.
And this is a replay of Dennis overtaking for second place around Sam Bird.
Just watching the gap
so
for the lead.
Cars in front have now
it's about
finished
0.6 of a second.
Look, Verline's gained 8 places. Dennis has gained 9. It's unbelievable the pace that these two have had over the course of this
There's
race.
something going on with that Porsche powertrain that's giving Dennis and Verline an edge in the race. Lotter is up to 10th. Obviously, Antonio Felix da Costa got caught up in the melee at the start, so he hasn't had a chance to show his pace. But there's something in that Porsche powertrain that's just super efficient. That just means that they've got all this extra pace.
Such a short period of time. This will go to 39 laps. 4 to go. 0.6 of a second.
4 laps to go. Very quickly, guys, in the chat, who is going to win this race?
Last year in Mexico.
Is it going to be Pascal Wehrlein or Jake Dennis?
Over the last few laps here, but do remember these.
Honestly, I've got no idea because I've tipped Jake Hughes and Sam Bird, and now they've both ended up not winning. So I'm not going to put my neck out anymore. But what I can tell you is that Pascal Wehrlein has slightly less energy than Jake Dennis.
So both cars 1 and 2. Well, Pascal maybe a 0.5% of energy.
Okay, we're down slightly to Dennis behind, 0.5%. Let's be clever where we're investing energy.
Dennis actually started 11th on the grid rather than 12th because Sergio Sedicamera got a penalty, but still a remarkable performance. Lap 36 of 39, make that lap 37 of 39. We won't have any added laps.
No added laps
and now it's
after
just
the
a
safety
straight
car.
Fight. Be sensible was the message on the radio. And it's interesting because, yeah, okay,
what's going on with Bird and Buemi for third?
If this was Stoffel Van Dorn out in the lead or something like that.
It's hard to read it.
You
It says the interval. I think, yeah, he must be 2 seconds back from looking at it correctly. He's actually battling Rene Rast.
But that's got to add a bit of something into it psychologically.
Jake Hughes has fallen off the back of Cassidy. Cassidy's on the back of Rene Rast. Big fight for P4. Bird appears fairly safe in third. Gap is not changing.
Can turn the wrong way in this championship very quickly.
So, first and second is Wehrlein and Dennis. And then it is Sam Bird in third position.
Is that helpful?
In
More
the
helpful, Chris?
Jaguar. Then it's the
Might have been a problem on my end.
Buemi, then Rast in the McLaren, and then that man Nick Cassidy in the other Envision in 6th place. And Cassidy has got 2% more energy than Rene Rast. So this fight on for 5th place. Both Envision scored points in the opening race of the season, and Cassidy looking for a top 5 finish.
We're on the penultimate lap, and Verline's still hanging in on the lead.
Cassidy has never had a top 5 finish here, finished 7th in season 8. Penultimate lap of the race now.
And here we are joining the battle at the front.
Still looks like he might just have enough.
Dennis has got 2% more. Oh no,
Dennis is wide. Coming through 14. Cost him a couple of car lengths.
It looked like a number 6 on the screen, but it wasn't.
To put Verline under the most
Finally, Bird has a good race. Yes.
0.4 of a second between them.
But it could have been better. He could have been in the lead. But these two, they've just cleared off once they got into the lead. Here comes Dennis. He's moving around a lot, trying to just distract Verline.
I thought he was doing the big dummy. He was not. He dummied with a dummy. He dummied me. That's for sure.
Vern up to
Vern's got ahead
P7
of Hughes
now.
Hughes is really struggling for energy. Cassidy's looking in a really strong place.
Right, final lap. It's now or never for Jake Dennis if he wants to take back-to-back victories. Verline looking for his second E-Prix victory. They finished first and second in the championship in the first race in Mexico.
3 seconds back to Sam Bird.
Jake Hughes dropped back down to 9th now.
At this point, in complete control, just saving a bit of energy through this section in order to.
Now, will Dennis risk a big dive into the chicane?
Of a really fun Diyriah E-Prix.
This has been a great race, thoroughly enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed it too.
To try and stop Pascal Verline taking his second Formula E win.
You have to defend him. You have to defend him.
He's too far away.
You're going to have to defend him. Is the
That's
message.
too big a gap. Verline's got a really good run.
No defending necessary.
Yeah, Pascal Verline is going to win this race.
Through the chicane.
As long as he keeps it neat and tidy. One corner to go. Dennis is having a look. Is he going to go for it? Oh my gosh, I thought he was going to go for it, but he's going to miss out. Pascal Verline wins.
His second win in Formula E. And Verline wins the first
Jake Dennis. Oh, McLaren was almost crashed into the back of by Cassidy. He was fishtailing all over the place.
Looked in real trouble after pre-season testing, but now they have taken the win.
Someone's dropping right down the order. I think it was.
They'll be happy with that.
Was it De Grassi or Tictum?
To come here. Van Dorn finishing ahead of Nato.
Van Dorn 11th.
Comes across the line. Rast held off Cassidy. Hughes lost to Vern.
What a race! What a brilliant race!
Happy Verline on the radio. There is no doubt about that.
That was a fabulous race. That was so enjoyable. Really, really good fun. So let's have a look at the finishing order. Pascal Verline wins the race by half a second from Jake Dennis. Sam Bird picks up a podium in 3rd. Great drive from Sam Bird as well. The start of the race made his race and put him in a position to secure that podium. Buemi from pole position fell back to 4th. His race pace wasn't very good in the grand scheme of things, but he's done well to come away with P4. Rennie Rast picks up P5. Nick Cassidy only just missing out on that 5th place. He finishes 6th. Jean-Eric Verne is 7th. Jake Hughes 8th. Andre Lotter 9th. Mitch Evans 10th. Van Dorn, Nato, De Grassi, Tixon, Sette Camera, Van der Linde, Fenestraz, Da Costa and Roland are the final finishes. Eduardo Mortara and Nico Muller fail to finish.
So many. This is the problem. So many stories to get into.
Ooh, we've moved
that one, but Verline and Dennis.
I just can't get over the domination.
Brilliant
race. The Porsche powertrain.
In the race.
The Porsche powertrain really. There's something that they've done very, very right. That's giving their drivers this extra efficiency, and they're just able to push lap after lap after lap in race trim. They weren't so strong in qualifying because Dennis and Verline have come from 9th and 11th on the grid. So just the race pace is incredible.
Have another shot at it tomorrow.
very interesting to see how the other teams respond to this tomorrow.
And there's Dennis celebrating with his team as he drives past.
And whether they try and run the race a bit differently if they find themselves in a similar situation
Porsche were a
today.
bit worried about Porsche. Andretti were a bit worried about Porsche. But no need to be after that performance.
What a race, pal. Well done.
Sean McGill on the radio. What a race, pal. Sums it up.
Jake Dennis's engineer saying, "What a race!" And that was a super.
But only by 1
Where
point,
do you start with Verline and Dennis? You just run out of superlatives. But that, if you think about it, in Jake Dennis's situation, he won the first race. He's come from 11th on the grid to 2nd in round 2. And we know how crazy and wild Formula E can be. That is an excellent, excellent drive of a potential world champion. You have to say it. I know it's very, very early, but that is the drive of a world champion. Remember when in his first season he went into the final race with a chance of being champion. In the end, it was Nick de Vries who came out as champion. But it's there. The speed is there. It's just about delivering the consistency.
I'm at a loss for words. Pascal doing some burnouts on the way to this incredible podium.
Now we've got this brilliant podium.
Dry ice with these Gen 3 cars and the burnouts they can do. Another Porsche powertrain 1-2 with Verline ahead of Dennis, a Jaguar in 3rd place in Sam Bird. But a second career win for Pascal Verline, and he had to fight right to the end. And Porsche finished on the podium on their debut here with Andre Lotterer a few years ago. Now they take their second win in the ABB FIA Formula E Championship. Verline victorious in Diriyah. We got another race to come tomorrow. Jake Dennis leads the championship, but Dennis versus Verline is very much going to be the focus.
Well, the guys are out onto the podium. Pascal Verline,
great performance.
Jake Dennis and Sam Bird.
The hugs as well. He's going to be so happy.
A brilliant, brilliant race. Thoroughly enjoyable. I'm going to take the headphones off. They're starting to make my ears hurt. Wearing them for an extended period of time. At least finally, DS Penske Dragon in Racing in Disguise doing better than 2018 to 22. Yeah.
So many questions.
It's been quite interesting. It's been a fabulous, fabulous evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just looking over at my second screen. It looks like the preview stream is way behind where I really am, because I've just seen the screen moving around mistakenly. Drivers are still only getting into the pit lane, so still actually several minutes left from when I'm actually talking to it actually being relayed. Chris, nice hanging with you. Won't be able to join tomorrow. Okay, cool. No problem. My friend is getting his Lamborghini delivered tomorrow and invited me to be there. Yeah, I mean, if I had friends who were getting Lambos delivered, I would definitely be there just to have a look. But have fun. Yes, thank you very much. And if you are coming back in the future, make sure you are notified of everything that I put up on YouTube by ringing that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel for more Grand Prix content. Like the stream. Go and check out the videos that are running down below. Well, they were below on the screen. Go and have a look at the rest of the channel. You can follow me at AaronHarper41 and AHGP Pod on Twitter. Thank you to everyone in the chat. You have made this a fabulous evening of Formula E racing, and I've had an excellent time sharing it with you. Until tomorrow, I will see you next time. Thanks for subscribing, Chris. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. It is goodbye until tomorrow when we have the second race in Diriyah. I'll see you then. Bye for now.
After a really, really entertaining Diyriah E-Prix, and we're going to start with Sam Bird, his first podium for a good few years now. He's probably happy.
Sam Bird, you came into this weekend saying you were going to turn things around, turn your championship around, and I think today you managed to achieve that.
Absolutely, it feels so good to be back on the podium, Nikki. I can't tell you, it's been a rough 12 months, but Jaguar have been amazing. They've stuck by me, they put their arm around me. And also recently, you know, we've had a very difficult Mexico to open the season, and the amount of work, the amount of sleepless nights that everybody at the team has had in order to get us to this point, this is a little mini victory for us. I get that Porsche are going to be taking the spoils home tonight, but for us, from where we've come from, amazing. Congratulations to everybody at the team, and we keep pushing.
But you did get to enjoy leading the race for a part, and then there was a lot of excellent defending going on.
Yeah, just trying to place my car to make it difficult for Pascal. I know that the grip out there is tricky, but he did a superb job. The Porsches look extremely decent on change of direction and minimum speed. We've got a little bit of homework to do tonight.
Excellent. Well, good to see you back on the podium. Thanks very much, Sam Bird.
Sam Bird then a high five with James Barkley after, as he was saying, a really tough season last year. Held on to the fight at the start, made the move on Sebastian Buemi, got to the lead of the race. Came under pressure later on, but still a very, very happy Sam Bird on the podium. Started third, finished third.
Jake Dennis, starting from P11 to finish second in the race. I don't think you were expecting to be on the podium today.
Not at all. Yeah, I thought it was going to be quite difficult to overtake here with the mountain section being so fast, but my God, the race car which we have is just unbelievable. You know, for me and Pascal to get another 1-2 from 9th and 11th is just a testament to how much effort's gone in. Full credit to Avalanche Andretti to give me the best race car out there today. You know, we closed it on Pascal at the end. I was pushing like hell to get the move done, but when you're racing a guy with the same car, it's difficult to pass. So, yeah, so happy. And, yeah, we deserve this after a difficult qualifying.
He wasn't going to let you finish this time with an 8-second lead.
No, but I just had to stop him getting an 8-second lead. So, super pleased for everyone. And, yeah, another 1-2. So, yeah, need to try and beat him tomorrow and beat everyone else. But nevertheless, I can sleep well tonight.
Absolutely, I'm sure you will. Fantastic result for yourself and the Avalanche Andretti team. Jake Dennis.
Second place for Jake Dennis. Involved in this melee at the start. Side through the middle and gained 2 places as Roland and Acosta crashed out. Overtook Sam Bird to get up into second place, but wasn't quite able to close in on Pascal Wehrlein. Still, he leads the championship by 1 point going into the second race of the weekend tomorrow evening here in Diriyah. But the winner is now speaking to Nikki.
Well, Pascal Wehrlein, another phenomenal achievement for Porsche, a 1-2. You can clearly see your team, the fans are hugely exciting. How does it feel from your position?